Alright guys, today we are going to react to a video of a young lady who found out that her mother was murdered. First off, my condolences. I've lost a lot of friends due to gun violence. I lost a friend in a bike accident. I have one family member that we suspect was murdered, but we didn't have proof, so we just chalk it up to he drowned. But to officially know that somebody took it upon themselves to take one of my family members out of this world, I don't know how I would react. I could only imagine what you're going through because it's a parent. I can't imagine somebody taking one of my parents away from me. We're going to react to this video, then we're going to talk about it.
So my mom went missing April 14th, 1998. The last thing I said to my mom was, I love you. And the last thing she said to me was, I love you. That was Tuesday night. Wednesday, I go to school. I come home. I do my normal routine. Thursday, I go to school. I come home. I do my normal routine. Thursday afternoon, but the house phone rings. Back then, we had house phones. We all didn't have cell phones.
It's a fact.
House phone rings. I answer the house phone, and on the other end, it's my mom's boyfriend. He's asking, hey, have you heard from your mom? No. Have you seen your mom? No. When's the last time you heard and seen your mom? Tuesday, when she left for work. So you have not seen or heard from your mom since then? No. If she comes home or she calls, can you please tell her she needs to give me a call? It is important. Yes. I hang up. Immediately, I call my grandmother, who lives in Compton, and I ask her, Grandma, have you seen Mama? Have you heard from my mama? She said, what do you mean you haven't seen or heard from your mom? No. When's the last time you heard and talked to your mom? Tuesday. You haven't spoken to your mom in 2 days? No. My grandma then says, I'll call you back. She didn't call me back. She proceeded to call my aunt, who lived out near us at the time. And my aunt then proceeded to call, and she called the sheriff's office. She called the police because of the fact that she is a mother of 3, and she had not been heard from or seen in pretty much 2 days. Friday, myself and my sister was notified by my grandmother that the truck that my mom had been driving was found and had been placed in impound. And at that time, I do remember breaking down and screaming out loud, she's gone. She's dead. She's dead.
Did she say the truck? Like, you mean the pickup truck or a semi? Because I had a whole story I was going to give about one of my coworkers whose wife was murdered while he was out on the road. I'm going to still tell the story, but what a coincidence.
No, she's not dead. She's just somewhere hurt. That's what she kept saying. She's somewhere hurt. And we went to sleep because it was just so much. Saturday, we woke up and we proceeded to make missing person flyers for my mom. Saying, have you seen my mother? And we made, I don't even know, maybe 100. And we planned on going out to the spot where they found the truck at and posting around the area, those flyers. I remember walking into an AM PM that was not too far from where the truck was found and asking the gentleman in there at the counter, can I hang this up in the window? And he asked what it was, and I told him it's a flyer for my mom. She's missing. He said, of course. We hung it up in the window, and we proceeded to go to the area in which my mom's truck was the last time when it was picked up by impound. We go in that area, and it's myself, my grandmother, my sister, my uncles, an aunt, and the gentleman that was locked up behind bars for her murder initially. He was there with us looking for her. We were outside, caught.
Bro, you hate to hear it, dog. You hate to hear it. What I'm talking about is the person who killed her sitting there helping the family look for her. I seen a similar story on Instagram. Young man meets up with his best friend. His best friend kills him, shoots him in the head, and then proceeds to grieve with the family. Carried the casket, visited the moms, visited the dad, was coming over to the crib damn near every day grieving with the family. Turns out he was the one who killed his best friend, shot him point blank in the head. You know what type of animal you gotta be to kill somebody and still come around the family acting like you don't know what happened?
Her name, yelling mommy, Terry. He was yelling for her. My grandmother had a plastic bag, like from Target or something. And she was collecting every little thing. And me as a mom, now I understand. She felt like any little thing could lead her or the police to her child. And so she would pick up cigarette butts. She was picking up random pieces of paper. Because to her, it's evidence. Everything was evidence. So my grandmother and I started walking to this huge hill. And we were going over there, and then for some reason we stopped. And we turned around, and then all of a sudden, we see a bunch of police cars just driving. My grandmother tells my uncle, go over there and find out what's going on. He waves a police car down, and my uncle has green eyes. He has these beautiful green eyes, like mesmerizing. When he turned around, his eyes were as dark as mine. Tears were running down his face, and you just have this knot in your stomach, like this is not good. You don't know what it is, but you get that knot. You can't swallow. Your mouth becomes dry. And he walked over back towards us, and he said, Mama, I think it's time for us to go. She said, what did they say? He said,
I just have to pause it to say this. By far, she's the best storyteller on TikTok. By far. I am intrigued. I am captivated. The music matches the tone of the story. I just wanted to pause to say this.
They found a black female's body by the lake.
Oh.
And they're saying that we need to go because it's a crime scene. And immediately my sister and I started screaming, jumping up and down. My grandmother's crying. And I think her tears were one of, I'm not believing that's my child, but I kind of know that it is. But I remember she looked at my sister and I, she was just like,
trying to be strong.
Not my child.
Trying to be strong
that's
for y'all.
That's not my child. That's not your mama. You don't cry. That is not your mom over there. That's not my baby. My baby is somewhere hurt. She's not dead. She's hurt. So you dry your eyes, and we're going to get in the car, and we're going to go home. And that's what we did. We got in the car, and the car ride was silent. It was quiet. We get home, and we're home, or to my uncle's house, I should say. And we're there for maybe about a few hours before there was a knock on the door. And I wasn't in the room when the knock on the door came, and they answered, and maybe about 30 minutes after that knock, my grandmother came in our room, and she finally told myself and my sister that they had positively identified my mom, and that it was her. And in that moment, me being the oldest, the first thing that came to my mind was, how am I going to raise these kids? I smile about it and I laugh about it, but it's the fact that just goes to show you how my mom raised me. She made sure that she instilled in me that my brother and my sister was my responsibility. They were mine because I'm the older sister. They listen.
My bad, y'all. This kind of brings back memories of when my uncle passed away. So, my uncle went swimming. Well, actually, my uncle, my stepfather, and my stepfather's friends, they took a boat and they went to another island. Now, this isn't out the norm. I used to go to that same island with my stepfather, and we'll go to that island, we'll cook, you know what I'm saying? We'll just hang out. On the way back, they said my uncle decided to jump off the boat and swim to the shore, and they didn't see him. So they thought he got to the shore and went home. They didn't find him till the fourth or fifth day. And to this day, we don't know what happened to him. The reason being, it's hard for us to believe that he just drowned simply because he was such a great swimmer. My uncle was the type of person, and if you're from Grenada, you know he's from Victoria. My uncle was the type of person that would swim damn near a mile out in the ocean and just lay on his back and just be out there for hours, just relaxing, catching the breeze. So for us to hear that he drowned in damn near shallow ass water, it's just hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, my grandmother passed away believing that my stepfather and his friends murdered her son. But I remember the day they came in and they told us Uncle James is missing. They're looking for him. Then I remember that phone call my grandmother got when they said they found his body. I remember hearing her in the other room. Oh God, 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 oh God. No. I remember that. So this kind of brings back memories.
To me. They're going to follow me. They're going to do everything that I do because I'm the oldest. So it's my job to protect them and to look after them. And immediately I went into that mode. I went into protection mode of my sister and of my little brother. My brother was 7 years old at the time. And I remember I just got up and I said, "Are you hungry?" I'm asking him, "Are you hungry?" I'm asking my sister, "Do you need anything?" I pushed aside my feelings because I knew everything was going to be different. I knew our lives had just changed in an instant, just that fast. From putting up flyers to hearing from the police, I became an adult at 12. In my mind, just that fast. So my mom went missing April.
I wonder if there's a part two. The reason why I want to know if there's a part two is because I want to know how they caught the guy that actually murdered your mother. The same guy that was helping y'all look for her, how did they eventually find out that he did it? In 1998, cameras wasn't that much of a big thing. So what evidence did they put together? Let's see if there's a part two.
So after the notification of everything,
the boyfriend did
my
it?
family then proceeded to go about telling my other uncles that were away at college what had happened. And we began to plan a funeral. The entire time, I would hear the adults talking, and I could hear my grandmother, trying to figure out what exactly happened to my mom. She's trying to piece things together. And like I said before, in a lot of African American households, we're told to stay in a child's place.
Facts.
And we're not told everything. A lot of things are kept from us because we're children.
That's a fact.
But then, I understand that now as an adult. But I would hear my grandmother say, "He killed her. I know he did it. I know he did it. I know he did. I know it was him." Him being my stepdad. Because I didn't know things as a child, what had happened between my mom and my stepdad. I knew my mother and my stepdad were in the midst of getting a divorce. I knew my mom wanted the house. I knew that my stepdad wasn't willing to give up the house. I knew that he, in my mind, wanted my mom back. And later on, we found out so much stuff, about him. But he wasn't out there looking for her with us. Just think about that. I'll come back to that later. He wasn't out there looking for my mom with us. He had my little brother, because my little brother is actually his father. That's his blood father. He's my stepfather, my sister's stepfather. But my grandmother would, she would just tell my mom's friends and my uncles, like, I know he did this to my child. I know it was him. She never let that go until they arrested my mom's boyfriend. And they arrested him for a few things. One reason being, he lied about their relationship because her boyfriend was also her boss. So him lying about the relationship kind of made them zoom in on him more.
So the whole time the moms was thinking it was the husband, it was actually the boyfriend. That's probably why the stepdad was not there looking, because he knew the wife was cheating. Yo, this sounds exactly like the story I was finna tell y'all. I'm gonna just tell y'all because, you know what I'm saying? All right. I had a coworker, okay? Shout out to my guy, John. My coworker, before he started working with us a long time ago, years ago, he used to drive trucks over the road. I'm talking about, I believe he lived in Michigan. So he used to go from Michigan to LA, Canada, Las Vegas, Florida. He used to go all over driving trucks. While he was out on the road, his wife was partaking in extracurricular activities, okay? Well, you know what? That's what he kind of suspected was, but we don't know 100%. Anyway, he comes back home one day, wife not home. Eventually, they found her car and they found her body in her car. They never caught the killer. They don't know what she was doing, where she was at. He for sure says that whoever killed her knew her. I believe the cop told him that, and he believed it wholeheartedly. Whoever killed my wife knew her. She went there to meet that person, and they did that to her right there. I forgot what year this happened. I think this happened in the 90s too. But I remember him telling me that story, and I remember how hurt he was. He still heard about it, and I just couldn't fathom. I don't want to speak that into existence. I don't want to speak that into existence. I'm married. I got kids. I don't want to speak none of that into existence.
He, because he lied about that, they zoomed in on him. That was one. And the other reason was, when my grandmother and my uncle went to collect my mom's things from her apartment and also from the home which we were living in, they brought her things all into my uncle's house in one bedroom. And on a particular day, I remember them going through her stuff, and I saw my mom's purse. And I said, "Oh, that's my mom's purse." And they said, "Yeah, we know that. These are her things." And I said, "No, that's the purse that she left with." And they said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." "How do you know?" I said, "I broke the zippers right here and here." And so they proceeded to call the police, the detectives that were on the case, and the detectives come and they ask me questions and I answer them, and they back the purse as evidence. Because no purse was found with my mom. My mom, when she was found, unfortunately, her body was dumped amongst trash on boulders. She looked as though that someone had tried to do some type of sexual assault to her in regards to her shirt and stuff. But her pants and everything were still on her. But she was just dumped like trash. She wasn't trash. But no purse was near her. Her house keys were not found with her. The truck keys were found in her pocket, but her house keys weren't found. So once they took the purse, and they asked my uncle a few questions, they asked my grandma a few questions, and then they decided to go ahead and hone in on her boyfriend at the time. They didn't really look at any other suspects. I'm finding that out now. They didn't look at my stepdad because they felt as though he had an airtight alibi. He had went and got his candy that night, maybe about 15 minutes after.
Talking about nose candy?
Or so. So he was on camera buying us candy. From my understanding, they had a lot to go on to look at my stepdad, but they didn't. They didn't do their due diligence in trying to figure out if he was involved or anything like that. I found out from my stepdad, actually, that my mom's boyfriend was arrested. He showed me a newspaper article and said, see, they arrested him. It was him. He's the one who did it. He's the one who took my wife from me and your mom from you. Him. It's like he was gloating. Now, thinking back on it, like I felt like he was like trying to convince me that I should hate this man. But even in that moment, I think I was just very confused as to what was happening, because what I knew of him was he loved my mom. I had never seen this man and my mom really truly argue or anything like that. He was nice to me. This man bought my first boombox. Like, that was a gift from him. He was just so nice to me and my sister and my brother and my mom.
Bro, don't get fooled. It be the nice ones. It be the nice ones. My aunt's husband was nice to me. And then once he got comfortable, he started beating her ass. He was nice to all of us. We used to go over there and visit. He'd be cooking. He'd buy us toys and stuff like that. We loved him. Until he started blacking her eye.
So to hear that he was arrested just didn't make sense to me at that time. As time went on, we of course had my mom's funeral, and we had to have a closed casket because she had been out in the sun, and she was not herself. She didn't look like herself, so we chose that, or my grandmother chose to have a closed casket. I didn't get to see my mom because when I looked into the room where her body was in the casket in the mortuary for the viewing, I just saw this dark complexion of a woman, and I just was like, my mom, that's not my mom. She's my complexion. I just told them straight up, that's not my mom. You got the wrong person. And I left. And my grandmother's like, no, it's her. But I couldn't deal with it anymore. After her funeral, we then, I moved in with my grandmother. And my sister and we moved in with my grandmother. There was a big custody battle between my grandmother and my real father. My real father was not capable of raising us. He had been on drugs and things like that. He had never really been in our lives like that. Thankfully, my grandmother won custody of us, so we lived with her. We were separated from my brother because he had his real father, which is my stepfather, and he was capable of taking care of him. We went through high school, and I went through high school, and my sister went through junior high, and in 99, the first trial began.
Usually we just watch a part of the story, but this story is so good. I think I want to see it through. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I want to see it through. I'm going to leave her TikTok page up here so you can go see it without my interruptions. But so far, I'm drawn in. You know, I'm drawn in. My condolences also. But like I tell y'all, you don't know what somebody else is going through. I've had both my parents in my life from since I was born. I can call my mother right now. I can call my dad right now. So I can drive 20 minutes to my dad's house. And that's a blessing. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a blessing that I take for granted. And it's a blessing I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all take for granted.
So after the parole hearing, we once again go on about life. I began to live my life. My sister does the same. We keep in contact with my brother. Now I'm of driving age. I can drive to him. I can see him whenever I want to see him. I can go pick him up if I want to pick him up. Things of that nature. Throughout our lives at that time, my brother started getting closer to graduating high school. Once he did graduate high school, my dad started to do little things that was controlling. I see it as controlling now. Back then, I thought it was like, okay, well, he just wants him to stay home. My brother got into all these schools, and my dad would not let him leave. It's like he didn't want him leaving him.
I'm sorry. I know I'm pausing a lot. Bro, I got into all these universities and my dad did not want me to go. My dad said he did not trust me to move to another state to go to these schools. All the deadlines passed. And somehow I ended up going to the Art Institute. All the deadlines passed for these universities, bro. I got into University of Maryland Eastern Shore, New England University, SUNY Downstate. And my dad was not trying to let me go. He said he didn't trust me out here. He said he didn't trust me. He wanted to keep an eye on me. I didn't accept none of those, bro. Then he was like, what you gonna study? I said, shit, I might study business. Business? What you studying business for? Why don't you study something you're into? Huh? The Art Institute called. Yeah, we have a program for graphic designers. We have a program for musical engineering. I get what he was trying to do, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. I kind of wish he would just let me go to one of them universities.
Mind you, we ended up getting money from my mom when she passed. You know, there's insurance. So my money and my sister's money was put into a CD. My grandma was being responsible with it. My brother's money went to my dad. He was not being responsible with it. He did whatever he wanted to do with it. But the little controlling things was like keeping him home, having him go to school out there, a community college, when he could have been at a university.
That's what my dad wanted me to do.
He was going to be going to, I want to say, UC Santa Barbara, straight out of high school, and my dad wouldn't allow it. He didn't want him leaving.
Oh, man.
At some point, my brother ended up moving in to my grandmother's house. I ended up moving back home with my grandmother as well. And it was great. Had, my brother there, was able to look after him. And then tragedy struck again. My younger sister was murdered. My sister that I'm talking about is also a stepsister, but, she was murdered. And when she was murdered in 2014, I was the one who called my dad to tell him that she was gone and that she was taken. I was also the one to identify her.
Bruh.
So it's not like, when I'm telling you all this, it's not like my dad just was this evil person. He was my dad. He was my dad, I didn't see him as being an evil person. The things that my grandmother would tell us later on in life, it's like, I never saw that. I never saw that side of him like that. Not like that. I saw snippets of it, but as a child, you don't think anything of it. You're a child. It's like, I don't know. So when my sister was murdered, my dad and my brothers, my sister, my dad's whole family came over to my grandmother's house and, prayed. My grandmother comforted people. She bought food. And, she did what a normal Christian woman would do. She opened her home to grieving people, a family, her family. She felt as though that, we were family because my mother married this man. My mother had a son with this man. So, yes, family. Fast forward from 2014 to 2016. In 2016, I was working and I get a phone call from investigators. The investigator is asking if I have time to talk, and if so, when and where. I give him a time and a date, and they meet up with me. Upon meeting up with me, they asked me a few questions about my mom, about my stepdad, about everything. What I had testified to previously, and I answered them and I asked them, what was this all about? And they said, well, the person that's behind bars right now is claiming that he's innocent, and he put in an appeal, and his lawyers are working for the Innocence Project. So the Innocence Project was doing their job and asked that DNA be reran. Because the DNA that they had back then did not get a match for anyone. And also, running things back then is not as good as it is now, We've advanced so much with DNA or getting DNA evidence and running it and finding matches and stuff like that. Now, everything and everyone pretty much has DNA in someone's system somewhere. Fingerprinting is in.
This could be a book. So the boyfriend spent 16 years in prison for a murder that he did not commit. Then on top of that, because now it's pointing towards the stepdad. The stepdad killed your moms. We didn't get there yet, but I'm guessing that's where it's going. And he lost his daughter in the same way. Lord, have mercy.
System, especially if you're in healthcare or, you're an officer, anything like that. Even some of these jobs require that you give a swab, some of them. When you send out your DNA for Ancestry.com or anything like that.
I need to do that.
Guess what? The police can get that. They don't have to have your permission. You pretty much get that permission over. So, they tell me this, like, yeah, he's petitioning the courts. And I'm like, okay. They asked me about a watch. And I'm like, I don't know anything about a watch. They asked me about my brother. And I'm like, I don't know where he was that night. He was young, so I don't think my older stepbrother, that's what I'm speaking about. I'm like, I don't know. And they say, okay, well, we're pretty sure this is going to be a dead end, so don't even worry about anything. I said, fine. That was in 2016. 2018 comes around and the same investigators say, hey, remember when we met with you back in 2016 and we said nothing would come about this? And I'm like, yeah. Well, something else has come up.
Oh, man.
Do you mind if we meet?
Oh, man. They caught his ass.
No problem. I have no problem with meeting you. They asked if my sister can be around, and I said, sure, I'll figure out when and where we can all meet, and I'll let you know something. Great. They meet at my house with me and my sister, and upon them coming into the house, they seemed a little excited, like they had some news. And I'm like, okay, what is this? They sit down, they say, so we're not sure if you guys knew this, but your mom had DNA on her and under her nails. We're like, okay. On her left, she had DNA, and on her right, she had a different DNA, and she also had DNA on her pants that did not belong to her. Okay. On her left hand, under her nails, we found the DNA of your cousin, Joaquin. Immediately, my sister and I get upset and begin to cry. And they ask, why are you guys upset? Why are you crying? And we looked at him, and it's like we both said it pretty much at the same time. We said, my dad did it. So after the parole hearing, we once again go on about life.
Wait, so how does Joaquin tie into your dad? This shit like The Young and the Restless. No, it's not. It's not The Young and the Restless. She lost family. But she is a great storyteller. She's a great storyteller. No! Ladies and gentlemen, the next part to the story, TikTok muted it for some strange reason. So we're actually going to have to skip a part.
So he tells us that he didn't know why he didn't call the police. And for me, it's like, okay, me, my husband, if he's missing for more than 2 hours, I'm on his head. Where are you? I'm calling. I'm texting friends. If I don't know where you are, we have a problem. So I'm like, you knew your wife didn't come home Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you just, nothing said, let me call the police.
That's true.
Nothing said, let me call the police. Like nothing in your mind clicked to say something is not right. So we leave. We had asked more questions. I just can't remember them right now. And my sister and my sister-in-law, we get in my car and we leave. And I will never forget my sister-in-law. Because the first when we got in the car, it was quiet for like the first maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I should say. And my sister-in-law all of a sudden goes, y'all know he guilty, right? And my sister and I just looked at each other and was like, man, he's very much so guilty. And I became angry because it's like, you've been playing in my face
this whole time.
All these years.
Facts.
All these years you've been playing dad.
Facts.
All these years you've been playing grandpa to my kids. All these years you've been raising my brother and telling people that your wife was murdered by someone else, by her boyfriend. You know, my wife was murdered by her boyfriend. And it's like you literally
started believing it,
playing in everyone's face, and you've been getting away with it. Not just that, you got a man doing your time. At this time, my mom's boyfriend had been behind bars for 20 years. It is 2018 at this time.
Bruh.
Maybe about a month after that, I get a phone call. I'm at work, and I get a phone call, and I read Avenal State Prison on my screen, on my cell phone. And I'm like, this can't be good. I answer the phone. Hello. Hi. Can I speak to Tynesha? Speaking. Hi, Tynesha. This is so-and-so from Avenal State Prison. I'm calling to let you know that HR will be released from prison tomorrow. I'm using HR because I don't really want to say his name. You guys can look it up for yourselves, but I don't want to say his name. So HR has been released from prison, or he will be released from prison tomorrow. I said, What are you talking about? Well, I just want to let you know that he will be released. By law, we have to notify the family, the victim's family, upon his release. I said, yeah, I thought you guys were supposed to notify us like months in advance. She said, I literally just got his paperwork put on my desk. He will be released tomorrow morning. And I said, why? And she said, because he has been found factually innocent of your mom's murder, meaning he is not the person that committed this murder. And so we have to let him go. A judge has signed an order and he has to be released. He is not the person that did the crime. I had to leave for the day, of course, because even though I knew in my mind that
he didn't do it,
my dad was guilty, my stepdad was guilty, I knew it, but it was just all moving so fast, and it was just...
It's probably my last time I'll stop it until the story ends. Listen, think about all the people who have wrongfully been convicted of somebody's murder. Think about all the family members who believe that this person actually did it. Think about all the hate that they have for this person who they believe did it because the court of law said this person did it. While the actual murderer is walking around here free, probably still hugging up to them, probably still showing up to Thanksgiving dinner. That's the bad thing about it when the law actually gets it wrong. I see how I burned the Palo Santo stick. I believe in bad energy, bro. So imagine an innocent person catching all that negative energy because people believe that they did something to their family members.
Happening, it feels like it was just like a blink of an eye. All of this like was happening, even though it was a month later. It was just moving entirely too fast. I couldn't catch my breath hearing that. I started to hyperventilate because I'm like, what's about to happen? And it's not even just that now, because I'm an adult. I'm the oldest. They don't have to contact my grandmother. They contacted me because I'm my mom's oldest child and I'm an adult. So now I have to tell my family, me, my grandmother, that the man that we thought was responsible for the death of her child is not the man responsible and that he is being set free.
But your grandmother already thought your stepfather did it.
Damn near had a heart attack. She was very upset with, of course, and she just didn't understand it. Because like I said, it was just moving so fast. So the next day came. I did not get a call once he was released because they told me that he would be released the previous day, but he was released. And, you know, it was a bittersweet moment because of the fact that you're happy that this person is released, because you're happy that they're not that person, you know, that you were told he was. You're like, okay, so he really was this good guy. He was the guy that loved my mom. He was the guy who protected her. He was this guy. And bitter because it's like, he was this guy and he was behind bars for something he didn't do.
Facts. For 20 years.
His life had been taken away from him. You said so many mean and evil things to this man. And you it's like, how do you apologize to somebody after doing something like that? How do you look a person in their face after saying the things that I've said? Like how? How do you ask for forgiveness? Because I feel like I can ask for forgiveness, but he doesn't have to forgive me. And you just you sit in that thinking like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? What did we do? You can never give this man
his time
20
back.
years.
Facts.
Never. I could never get.
I lied. I paused it again. But I hope he sued the state. I hope he sued the state. 20 years is a long time, bro. Think about it. My son is 8. Granted, I feel as though these 8 years went by kind of fast, but a lot has happened throughout these 8 years. So imagine 20 in a box. You're just looking at 4 walls all day while the outside world is just passing you by.
Give him that. All I have is just an apology. That's all I have. So how can you, he was released and he was awarded money. Rightfully so.
Yep.
I feel like he should have got more than what he got because he deserved more. He was released and he went back home to where he's originally from. And then time went on, and maybe about 2 weeks later, I get a phone call.
You pick your stepdad up.
My stepdad has been arrested.
Alright. If I look at another one, the video gonna be too long. Her TikTok is right there. Y'all go ahead and show her some love. Go ahead and watch the story in its entirety. The way I'm gonna end this video, I'm gonna say this. It's a lot of us that take people in our lives for granted. I'm guilty. I feel as though I don't talk to my mother as much as I should talk to my mother. I talk to my dad quite frequently, but I feel as though maybe I could call him a little bit more. Because I can't imagine growing up without my parents. I have kids. I don't want to know the feeling of somebody taking my kids away from me. I pray to God my kids don't leave this world before I do. Because that's a hurt that I don't think I can get over.